Aloha and welcome to Love and Dating in Hawaii, a series of specials leading up to a very special show on Valentine's Day. I am your host, Raya Salter. Now, Hawaii is one of the most romantic places in the world. In Waikiki at sunset, you can't walk a straight line without bumping into multiple couples draped in flowers, taking stunning just married photos. Honeymooners, star-crossed lovers, clandestine lovers, and singles come here from all over the world to adventure together while soaking up the beauty of the islands. Hawaii is probably the world's most sought-after destination for people looking for romance. Of course, for those of us who live and work here, day-to-day life can take some of the shimmer off the idyllic disco balls of Waikiki and Turtle Bay. Hawaii has, in many ways, a small, family-oriented and close-knit community. New people can be a good thing to add to the mix and pose a challenge. So what does it mean to be single and looking for love in Hawaii? To help us figure this out, we will be talking with Shana Campbell. Shana Campbell is a certified creative love coach, mentor, best-selling author, and motivational speaker. After moving to Hawaii in 2013, she founded Shana Love Coaching, which provides coaching services and teaches personal development that empowers single men and women to enhance their love lives through self-love. Love is her mission, and she would like to increase awareness of self-love to see people live their ideal lives. As a first-generation American, growing up, Shana had the best of both worlds. She was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and her parents are from the beautiful island of Jamaica. Shana holds a bachelor's degree in psychology from Clark Atlanta University and a master's degree in marriage and family therapy from Richmond Graduate University. So welcome, warm welcome to Shana.
Thank you for that nice introduction.
Yeah, well, you know, one thing I definitely just have to ask you straight off the bat.
Okay.
This was a new concept to me. What is a certified love coach, and what is it that you do?
Right. I love to tell people what I do because I get that like doggy ear, like love coach. And people have their own definition. They probably think I'm a matchmaker, or they think I'm, a dating coach and whatnot. And in short, I tell people, just if you've seen the movie Hitch, I'm kind of like the female version of that, in a way.
Exciting. Doesn't let the female Will Smith kind of hooking us up when we're falling down in our faces.
Right. But more so, my concept is really focused on self-love. So that's really the foundation of my work. So yes, I talk about love and relationship, but before we could get to that aspect, I want people to look within, because that's where love begins.
So why would it be helpful or important for someone to have a love coach?
Yes, so it's good because we all have blind spots. I know for me, before I started working with a love coach, I was a client that became a coach. And during that time, I was contemplating at the time, like, do I need to hire somebody to work on my love life with? But when I was working with a love coach, that's when I was on the self-love discovery process, and I didn't know. And I saw a lot of benefits of it. I really connected with myself, and I got to know myself more and saw the internal barriers that I created that kept me from not receiving the love that I was seeking or wanting. So it's very helpful because you learn insights about yourself. You have a lot of gifts and hidden talents that you're not aware of, and sometimes you may not see it. So a coach is kind of like that guide that could help you to those things to come into the surface to look at and be real and be open and receptive to love.
Well, that is so interesting, and I want to have a really frank conversation with you with your expertise on what is going on out here dating in Hawaii. But first, I'm very interested to hear what happens when somebody decides to take not a love journey with you, but to sort of hire you to help them as Hitches with their love journey.
Well, we're not going to be on the surface, because I feel many of us, we do live life on the surface or love on the surface. So you work with me, we're going to go deep. So if you're ready to go deep and ready to get real with yourself, then I'm the person to work with.
Well, I guess
I'll get my coach. Don't let the smile fool
you. Says, don't let the smile fool you. I think there are a lot of messy issues underneath, so let's just go ahead and start talking about them. All right. So I know that you have worked with people from all over the country. Now you're based here. So what in your experience is special or different about trying to find love in Hawaii?
Well, one is paradise. And of course, if you have that romanticism, living in paradise and finding love or being in love, that's, a great thing. I believe the challenge is if you're someone who's not from here or new here, it's a different way of living, which is not a bad thing. Not so different for me because my family's from the Caribbean island. This is an island, so for me, I kind of resonate with Hawaii a lot. So I would say the differences would be, I guess, culturally speaking. I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn.
And, people if people know anything about New Yorkers, especially like men. They're not shy to like come up to you. They want to ask you out or just simply give you a compliment. Like you don't have to wonder, I guess, like there's no shame in someone coming up to you and approaching you. I lived in Atlanta 9 years before I came to Hawaii. So Atlanta has that, men are, they're assertive, sometimes could be aggressive, but either way, they make themselves known if they have an interest in you or they want to compliment you or give you a compliment. Here, I would say my personal opinion and observation, I think could be a factor of the culture. The men could be a little bit, passive or reserved. And passive is not a bad thing. It's just that, they probably just look at you and may not say anything or they may not make a move. So you're just, so I don't think their approach is different. So growing up in New York and here is definitely, I'll say probably cultural factors.
Interesting. Well, let's just go ahead and dig into that juicy cultural factor stuff, and I say we do. Now, it's interesting because you talk about what it means for a person who's coming here, who's new into the mix, and then there are also, I guess, perspectives and challenges from people who are here in this sort of smaller, who are here, regular local folks living here in this small sort of family-oriented community. Do you have any thoughts on what if anything, makes Hawaii unique in that regard?
Yes, that's actually one of the main things I do love about Hawaii is very family and community oriented, which is different from the mainland. It's kind of like all about me attitude, and here's like a we, that ohana, aloha spirit. So that's definitely a quality that I definitely admire about Hawaii.
Well, excellent. So I want to ask a few more questions. So dating, relationships, you're talking about self-love, and a lot of it has to do, I think, of where a person is when they're, and what they're ready to receive. So I think a lot of times somebody who's new here may be leaving, maybe their family and their traditional support system, and that can have implications for what they might be seeking in a relationship. Also, I've just noticed that sort of just that isolation also can cause real issues from people who are here. I know I have met many singles, many single men who may be divorced, may have one child or multiple children, who are living with mothers on the mainland. That also, I think, that could be a really challenging thing to deal with. Now, what are some of the impacts that these things can have on people as they're trying to find love again?
Well, one thing, life is not linear, and love is not linear either. And it's definitely, if you feel like you're a person, quote unquote, that has a lot of baggage, and that could be, from past relationship, or you're someone who's been divorced and have children, or being a single parent. So I think for me, because I'm always going to go back to self, is like how a person, if you see that's going to be a challenge, not ignoring that could be a possible, but if you allow that to take a toll on yourself, like, oh man, like I'm a single parent, no one is not going to want me or date me, or I have to wait till my child gets older, this and that, and like who wants to, so it's really the self-talk that you're telling yourself, regardless of the quote-unquote baggage or the hindrance you may you may be experiencing. So if you're someone that what you did describe, if you're like a single dad, divorced, you know, I would just really like seek, just really sit with yourself and ask yourself if you're ready for a relationship, and why you're ready for a relationship, or you feel like you can't have love, why cannot? So it's just really, it all goes back to self, because it's not impossible. Because people get married, again, and have blended families. So it's not impossible, is what you tell yourself.
Well, that's interesting. I guess it comes back to self every time, and sort of allowing oneself to sort of create a new story for possibility going forward.
And that's the key, create the possibility. Because just because you've experienced series of bad relationships, if you've been divorced or you're a single parent out of wedlock, or you've been single for a long time and don't know if love is in the cards for you, and you may allow your external reality to dictate who you are, versus as a creative love coach, no, you create the love and life that you want. You paint that picture.
Well, that is hopeful and encouraging and really pretty cool that you can actually have a qualified person help you out with stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I want to say, I think we are focusing on dating. I don't want to sort of marginalize all the folks who are sort of wildly in love or have been married for a long time. There are a lot of issues around that, and we're going to get to some of them too. But this particular topic really is about what are some of the challenges that folks have here for dating, singles and dating. So let's get on to a new topic. Now, of course, we know there's a large military presence here, and there are a lot of single folks in the military, some who may have seen one or more active tours of duty and dealing with issues of on that level, but who are also here maybe temporarily and also looking for love. And men and women here who might be interested in making that love connection with them. What are some of the key issues that may come up in that situation?
Right. So for me, I have experience working with military population, specifically veterans, not active. And I know that it is, could be challenging. Like military lifestyle, that's a whole nother culture, that's a whole nother world. Again, it's not impossible, And for me as a coach, I really talk about the internal barriers that we create on an unconscious level, because we're not aware of it. Because we think it's these external things. Oh, because I'm this, I can't find love. Because I live here, I can't find love. It's that. But you have to believe and know that you could find love. So in regards to the questions with military, it's possible. So if you're someone who's active military, you may well, I'm leaving all the time. You have to believe there is someone who's open to that type of, someone who's adventurous, someone who don't mind traveling the world, that's okay with that. Like for me personally, I'm not really about that life. It's nothing against, military or anything, but I just know what I want. I'm very clear, because I know that the relationship that I'm now attracting in my life. I know I want something like stable. It's something like, we got to pick up and go overseas. That's not for me. So, you know what I mean? So you have to know yourself. But if you're someone who's getting out or who's already out, that's I would entertain, just using myself as an example.
Well, it's very interesting, because I think here, and it's also hopeful because there are people who are looking to stay and there are people who are looking to go. And we are going to pick up this conversation after our break. You're watching Powering Up Your Love Life, Love and Dating in Hawaii. We'll be back in a few seconds.
Hello, this is Martin Despang. I want to get excited about my new show, which is Humane Architecture for Hawaii and Beyond. We're going to broadcast on Tuesdays, 5 p.m. here on ThinkTech Hawaii.
Hello, my name is Crystal. Let me tell you, my talk show, I'm all about health. It's healthy to talk about sex. It's healthy to talk about things that people don't talk about. It's healthy to discuss things that you think are unhealthy because you need to talk about it. So I welcome you to watch Quack Talk and engage in some provocative discussions on things that do relate to healthy issues and have a well-balanced attitude in life. Join me.
Aloha, it's summertime in Honolulu, Hawaii. My name is Stephen Philip Katz. I'm your host for Shrink Wrap Hawaii. We're on every Tuesday at 3 o'clock, and we talk about mental health and general health. Join us. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome back to Powering Up Your Love Life, a special Dating in Hawaii, Power Up Hawaii in anticipation of Valentine's Day. So we're here talking with Shana Campbell, certified love coach. And before we went to the break, we were just talking about issues related to dating in the military. And actually, you know what? It's not really so much about dating. We're talking about finding love, because that's what you're really about.
Right.
So we talked about how somebody who may be in the military looking for love, has to sort of rewrite their narrative in terms of what they think is possible. So then I want to ask, what about somebody, because many of us, we jump into things. Maybe we haven't thought about all of this to the extent that maybe we could have. So what about somebody who is dating someone who's in the military?
Right.
What would your, and is into a relationship, what would your advice be to them?
Right. As long as you're open and receptive to love, then great. But you have to know if that's the relationship that you want. If you and this person are dating and seeing each other and things were to get serious, are you okay? Like, what, if this person had to move overseas and things are you willing to do that? You know what I mean? And a perfect example, a friend of mine actually, like a year ago, found someone. He was military, and they've been together for a year, and they recently moved off island. And the thing is, she was okay, like they had a bond. So once you do have that connection with someone, you're gonna find reasons and not make, excuses to make it work. So it can work. So you have to be truthful with yourself of what you want in a relationship. And I know with her, she grew up in a military background. So for her, she was familiar with that lifestyle, and she's the type of person who travels a lot too. So being with someone who always on the go, you never know where you're gonna be, wasn't an issue for her.
All right.
So you have to know yourself.
You have to know yourself.
Yeah.
All right. So, because you have so much experience working with men and women here and on the mainland, what are sort of like the top 3 issues that come up with people, when they're talking about trying to find love? And this does mean first steps in terms of dating. What are they telling themselves? What do they need to move towards?
Okay. Well, I wrote it down. I was prepared. So the top 3 issues, I would say with my clients that I've worked with personally, either one, I can't find someone on my level. So whether either you could be someone with a certain educational background or financial, whatever things that you want in a relationship, you may not find that person that kind of, on quote unquote, on your level and kind of get frustrated. So that's an issue. Some people why am I still single? And then they are tempted, and sometimes they do buy into the story where there must be something wrong with me.
Something wrong with me,
Well, I'm a great catch. I'm a great man. I'm a great woman. I have things going on for me. Why can't I find that person? And the third thing I think most of everyone do is overanalyzing. Always in the head, that mind chatter, or based on previous your narrative. Well, this is not going to work because that, and you keep blocking yourself.
Well, how does somebody begin to turn that around?
Well, one, working with me now.
Hello.
Okay, but first, really pay attention to the stories that you're telling yourself, that you're repeating. So one thing that I do, when I speak to people live, is start doing love affirmations. That's a start. Start speaking, I am now attracting a loving relationship in my life that's supportive and loving. I love myself. So just really speaking words to change the story that's playing in the background.
Understandable. Very interesting.
That'd be an easy first way to get started.
An easy first way.
Mhm.
So let me also ask, what are some of the issues that can come up when people are just starting to meet people and starting a new relationship?
Okay. And this is good because I actually was thinking about this recently because, for me, when working with me, it's about the foundation. Like self-love is the foundation. And then once you start, the more you grow in self-love, self-love is very attractive. It's a very attractive quality. Not just the external, but the more you grow in self-love, you just exude love. Like, wow, that person is just happy about life. Like, people are drawn to you, right? And then you get into that relationship that, oh my gosh, like, that you created. And sometimes people may freak out because this might be too good to be true. And, like, I'm in a relationship, now what? So the work doesn't stop there, you know what I mean? So you continue to create that, that love that you have. And you want to be mindful of that because you don't want to self-sabotage too. So the one thing I would say, just be present in the relationship that you're in. Don't overthink it and, get caught up in the future. Don't try to keep comparing this person to your ex or to your past. Just, live in the moment and just create because you're both creating the relationship you want.
Well, speaking of creating moments and special memories, let's go ahead and talk about Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yes.
It can be a lot of pressure, but it also can be a time to sort of take the opportunity to show your partner, your friend, your mother, your daughter, your family member that you have special love for them. So what are some of the top ways that couples dating can make the most of Valentine's Day in Hawaii?
So this dating couples only for that, or just
Or they
it's
can be,
open general?
it can be a married couple. Sort of your top 5. What are the things that couples can do?
Okay. So no single people on this list.
Oh, no. Well,
Could you saying couples? Just want to be
you know
clear.
what? We'll just say
The top 5
Top
things, and that can
5
include
things.
everybody. In.
Yes, we
Okay.
don't want to.
Like, how come? Okay. So, again, I have my list to be prepared. So, one is we live in beautiful Hawaii, staycation. So, either you could stay here on island or you could visit another island, or you could just stay home and just create a romantic experience at home.
Does sound like the budget option.
The budget option?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is good, which is always good.
Yeah.
Sometimes ladies are hoping for the non-budget option, but that's okay. We like the budget option,
Well,
as long as I'm not cooking.
right. But the thing is, with romantic ideas, like for me, my responses are not linear because everyone is different. What's
Fair.
romantic for you could be different for someone else. So like
Fair.
a staycation could be, if you go to Maui, that's not on a budget. You're going on a different island.
Oh,
But
yes.
So staycation could be in the house or visiting another neighboring island. 2, if you're someone who's outdoors, probably going out for a hike and then end the day having a picnic on the beach or at the park. That could be someone's idea of romantic. If you're someone who have children, definitely see if you could get a babysitter and go out to eat, or do the reverse. They could spend the night out at a family member's house or someone that you trust and create a romantic evening at home. If you want to be fancy, find a fancy restaurant or probably a private catamaran ride and have a private dinner, But then the number 5, I said anything that adds a special personalized touch.
I
Could
think
be
that's
things,
exactly right.
Whether if you have a romantic dinner, hiking and find a spot, or to a 5-star restaurant. So say if you're someone who loves gummy bears, and that's something you don't have all the time, and someone ushers you oh my gosh, gummy bears, it's gonna be the little thing that's gonna be the highlight of that romantic evening or date, right? So the person that you're in a relationship with or dating or getting to know, the things that is important to them if you just add that touch, I think.
I think
Great
you're
moment.
exactly right. And I think maybe Shana knows that I have more gummy bears. And the regular picnic on the beach is definitely picked up by special champagne gummy bears and maybe a special
You make it
champagne
romantic, yeah.
instead of being, the PB&J that we sometimes
And you
bring to
could
the
do that. It
beach.
could be PB&J and some gummy bear champagne. Is what you make it.
This is true. I'm excited. I think that's wonderful. I think that's true. I don't know. Well, here's the thing then. Here it leads
Okay.
into my next question. What about all the pressure that Valentine's Day can add, especially I feel maybe for women? Like this is the time when we want to see those, can I tell you, why can't men send flowers to your job? Send a beauteous bouquet of flowers to your job. Women love that.
If you're that type of woman,
often,
yes.
men don't do that. We want to see those little things happen. These little, you're wonderful, you're special to me.
Well,
things.
one, men are not mind readers. So if you're in a relationship with a person, communicate.
Send flowers to my job. Send flowers to my job.
or communicate that or hint that around. But going to your question, like feeling the pressure. I remember when I was in high school, I was like anti Valentine's Days, not so much because of the love, because it's such like commercialized. And I had like a bear, cute bear, and it says "Boo to Valentine's Day," and I had it on my. I was just so anti Valentine's Day, but I can understand the pressure, because if you're someone who's single, been single for a long time, or got out of a relationship, you see all these lovey-dovey couples, it could be like sickening and disgusting, like, go away somewhere, right? And you're just like mad at the world. But it's just one day. You know what I mean?
It
It's
is
just a day,
one day. You can
but
get
you can
through
show
it.
that every day. So one of the things that would be helpful, if you're someone that feel triggered Valentine's Day as a coach, I'm like, okay, look within, like, why is this bothering you? And dig deeper with that. And if you're someone who's single, why don't you throw something together with your friends?
All right,
and
that's
do
exactly
something.
right. Do something fun, do something
Invite
positive.
other single men and women in.
That's right. Do something fun and exciting. And I think that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for listening to Powering Up Your Love Life, Love and Dating in Hawaii. If you're in this situation now, we hope that you're inspired and you're feeling positive about your own hope and ability to rewrite your love narrative. And you can also contact Shana Campbell, Certified Love Coach, to help you along that journey if you like. So thank you so much. Mahalo. Aloha.